All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Pixel 9 Pro, and I'm going to give you my review right now.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Guys, we've got to start with the Pixel 9 Pro's design. This phone is arguably the greatest built phone I've ever used. The design is absolutely amazing. The way it feels in your hand, the curves complement the boxiness, the looks of it overall. It has me so excited for Google's future. Google in the past, from the Pixel 6 on, I haven't personally enjoyed that design. It was a little bit too roundy, a little bit too smooth rock feeling, to where the phone felt like there was no structure. This Pixel 9 Pro to me feels very precise, very delightful. This phone in my hands feels like it just belongs there. I can't think of another phone other than maybe my 16 Pro Max. I can't think of another phone that has a design that is better than this. It's perfect to me. If you have not had your hands on with one of these new Pixel 9 series devices, I'm telling you, you will be very surprised. I'm the kind of person who typically runs my Android phones without a case. And this one, durability-wise, there's a few scratches on the body that I would honestly say is a little bit alarming. But I will say it may be because I got the black phone. I really wanted the white color, but they were out of stock. And it wasn't going to ship for, I believe, over a month. So I went ahead and got the black edition. And it's gorgeous. But these shiny black sides, they collect chips and scratches very easily. And like I said, I am caseless, so that obviously is a part of the reason, but I've never dropped this phone. So it's just daily wear and tear, you know what I mean? So I'm telling you guys right now, this design is, whew, they knocked it out of the park. So let's go ahead and jump over to the display. Man, this to me feels like a Samsung. Obviously, Apple, Samsung, Google, they all typically use either LG or Samsung screens, but there is typically a difference. And what I mean by that is the Pixel, for example, my Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro, neither one of them had displays that were this sharp, color accurate, bright, and consistent. So on my Pixel 8 Pro, as an example, if I turn light theme on, sometimes, especially if the screen is all white, you can see around the corner of the display to where there's just a little bit of a color shift to where the white is slightly gray in some areas and then whiter in others. This display is completely uniform, and there's no oddities like that. The display on this phone is one of the very reasons why I picked this phone over the Pixel 9. This one has a higher resolution display than the Pixel 9, and it also has a higher brightness. The typical use brightness whenever you use auto brightness inside of your home, it's pretty good. It's on par with other phones I've used. But as soon as you turn off the automatic display and turn the manual brightness up to max, or if you are out in the sun, man, this phone screams full of brightness. The brightness is absolutely insane. There has not been a single moment where I feel like the screen was not bright enough, even in the brightest of all bright situations. So I do like that about this Pixel 9 Pro. Shifting back to the design, let's talk about form factor. This size phone is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this size phone in a Pro model for years from Google. But man, this one, the Pixel 9 Pro, having all of the same features as the Pixel 9 Pro XL in this size phone has been something I have been looking for a very long time. This phone having the Mac Daddy specs that the 9 Pro XL has in this size frame is absolutely lush. I have been waiting on this for a very long time. And Google, they have delivered, man. This form factor is, I'm not going to say mind-blowing, because it is still a fairly large phone when you think about it. But when you compare it to the Mac Daddy flagships, the Maxes, the Ultras, the XLs, Google going out of their way to offer this phone to their consumers, I just love it. I absolutely love it. This size for me is absolutely perfect. So thank you, Google, for delivering this. I've been waiting on this size for a very long time. It just feels so good in your hand when you're using this phone. Jumping back to the previous Pixels, my 8 Pro, dude, I don't know what Google did with Android 14, but on the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 8, I had dramatic issues with speed on that phone. Typical scrolling, typical application opening. I had issues with both of my Pixel 8s. And the weird thing about that, and I think it was an Android 14 bug because they did fix it in Android 15, I did not experience those issues with the 7 Pro or 6 Pro. It was the weirdest thing. So I did some researching and come to find out it was an Android 14 bug, but the entire life duration of the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro, they were both tarnished for me in terms of performance. Google made a public statement mentioning that they will fix the issue with Android 15, and they did. When I tell you that this phone is so consistent, it's so smooth, to me it's almost unbelievable for a Pixel phone, just because of those issues I had with the last generation and that particular OS version. This thing is so smooth. It just flies through everything. It is buttery. The applications staying open in the RAM and the background, split screen mode, multitasking, it all is just so smooth on this phone. I am very sensitive to phones that drop refresh rate dramatically during normal operations. And I will tell you that the Pixel 9 does not do that. They have this phone tuned so well to where it is just great. It is very smooth. This phone is consistent and has stayed consistent. Now, I will like to see how it does 6 months from now, but at the rate this phone is going, I don't see it being an issue at all. This is great. Jumping over to battery life. The battery for me has been great for a phone of this size, right? So when you look at a 6.3-inch display, you can't expect that much, but I will say that this phone to me has been better than anticipated. So I can go a full 30 hours of usage before the phone will need to be charged. So that's waking up at 8 a.m., unplugging the phone at 100%, going through my day like normal, going to bed with 45% left, and then charging at lunch the next day. So for me, and this is just on a typical basis, of course, if you video edit, game, use the camera a lot, you should expect the battery to, of course, drop a lot faster. But overall, the battery for me, on how I use it typically, YouTube, phone calls, social media apps, I do a lot of photo editing, and I usually just take a couple of photos per day of my devices, etc., for the channel. For me, the battery has been really good for a small Pro phone, really good. They also introduced a couple of features with Android 15 this year. So if you go down to the battery, we now have charging optimization. So you can now, which I believe Pixel may have had in the past, but I'll go ahead and mention it. You have adaptive charging, which allows the phone to charge up to 80%, and then it will finish charging to 100% right before you normally unplug. So that's a feature that is very much needed. And then you also now have the limit to 80% option within the settings, to where the phone will limit itself to 80% to preserve the lifespan of the battery for the future. So I typically run mine on charging optimization and adaptive charging. One thing that Google did bring this year was Pixel pass-through charging. So there is a feature that allows the phone to be used while being charged without the battery itself being used. The phone will be running through the actual power cable. So say, for example, you're an Uber driver and you have your phone plugged in all night long when you're driving, right, in your car. This new pass-through feature, at least the way I've read it, to where the phone itself is running through the charger's power as opposed to the battery itself. So the battery stays where it is. The power that's being pulled in is operating the phone as opposed to charging up the battery, causing long-term charge cycles. So I have to do more research on that. Let me know in the comments if you guys know a little bit more in detail about that feature that Google has dropped. But if that works the way I have read it does, that is a huge feature for the Pixels, especially since the Pixels are now guaranteed multiple years of software updates. Obviously, the first thing that goes on a phone is typically, especially if you take care of it hardware-wise, is the battery. So that could save you a lot of charging cycles, along with the other battery lifespan saving features that Google now offers with the optimizations, adaptive charging, limiting to 80%. That is awesome. Let me know in the comments if you guys know a little bit more about that than I do, or if I explained it incorrectly, just to clear that up. We have to talk about connectivity. So this is typically missed by a lot of reviewers, but for me, it's very important. So on my Pixel, I use Verizon, and Verizon where I live is not the best like it used to be. As soon as they switched over to 5G, in my area, their service has dramatically decreased. And in our newer home, I typically, on every other phone, which is typically Pixels and my S24 on Verizon, I typically get 1 to 0 bars inside of our house and or outside of the vicinity of our house. So we're talking the back, the front yard, the driveway. I'll typically get 1 to 0 bars on phones. But on this phone, I typically get a couple of bars, damn near halfway of signal strength. And that's on the LTE and 5Gs. So like I said, most of my phones, I don't get any signal at all. But on this one, I'll typically get 5G, which is great. And I'll get a couple of bars or halfway of bars, if that makes sense. So the connectivity on this phone is very, very strong. And I've run some speed tests, and I'm getting speeds that are amazing for download speeds on a Pixel phone. I've also noticed that I am dropping calls and Wi-Fi a lot less than I did on my 7 Pro, 8 Pro, and 8. So the modem on this dramatically increased. And that was one of the first things I noticed. And I bet money that is why my battery has been so good. The main juice sucker for your battery really is your connectivity. So if you're getting 0 to 1 bars, although you're on Wi-Fi, that mobile data is still running in the background. So that's going to suck down your battery. And obviously that's going to have a major impact anytime you're outside of the Wi-Fi zone. So Google did a hell of a job, man, with this modem. They really did. So I know I've been very positive on this review, but overall my experience has been pretty good. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the cameras. So the cameras for me are really good. When I say cameras, I mean video and picture taking. If I take the high-res raw photos, they look amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'll typically just point and shoot and capture. So guys, yeah, as you see here, the video doesn't look too bad at all. Now this is 4K 30, or it might be 4K 60, I can't remember. And it's the video boost feature. So as long as you are using video boost, it will look very, very nice. I will typically not use video boost. And yeah, that's just what I like to do. Holy smokes, guys, it's cold out here. So this is the Pixel 9 Pro front-facing cam 4K video. And just walking around here, getting a feel of what this camera looks like. The video looks good, especially compared to what it used to be. And the video boost does help. But man, I was just a little bit disappointed. Like I said, video boost does fix the colors. I don't know. It's pretty good, but it definitely could be better. Overall, this phone to me, this is 2025's golden phone, man. I know we have the S25 Ultra, the S25 series. We have some OnePlus devices coming out. And obviously there are other phones in other markets that I can't really use here in the US. This phone is wow, right? This has to be a contender for all of the 2025 purchases. Now, I know this came out in August of 2024, but this phone throughout the rest of the year is going to be fantastic, especially with Google and all of their deals that have been going on since around or before Black Friday. It just keeps coming. I think that this phone is the best Google has ever done, which obviously you expect that to be the case, but it really is the best phone they've ever done. It is great. So this will go down to me as one of the best phones ever, from design to the way the software is working right now. It's great. Speaking of software, I do use the AI features. I use Gemini for a lot of different things. I use the Magic Eraser in the photos and a couple of other things, the circular search, etc. But I don't use it enough to where I made it a main point of this review. It is very awesome that we have those features, right? And I will continue to use them, but I don't use them enough to really explain in detail. I'll make a separate video on all of the AI features. I wanted this review to specifically focus on the basic software and definitely the hardware of this device. But I'll make a separate video on all of the AI features. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of the Pixel 9 series. Let me know down below. And also let me know what you guys think about this video. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. I have a lot more content coming soon, so make sure to subscribe and go ahead and shoot this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and welcome to Josh's Way of Life.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile.